Hello, everyone. Welcome back to, wow, it is day number 22 of Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And today's topic is pay the ransom, go to jail. Come on. What was that again? That was bad guys break into your system, bad guys encrypt your files, bad guys make ransom demand. You pay said ransom demand, bad guys get rich, you get poor, and then you can get even poorer through fines and maybe even having to go to jail. This doesn't make any sense. It sounds like one of those lawsuits where the burglar broke into someone's house, tripped over a Lego, and then needs chronic medical care for his whatever problem happened, right? Sounds like a bad nightmare. But the reality is there is actually some solid footing to this, and that is was very nicely given to us by the Department of Treasury, just as a little reminder back in the beginning of October, to remind us that the Treasury's Office of Foreign Asset Control really issued the advisory, to be truthful, saying that if you pay money to the bad guys and the bad guys are associated with or are one of the sanctioned entities they have in their sanctioned list, yeah, they can't look the other way on that. They're going to have to fine you, penalize you, and possibly jail you. It sounds ridiculous, but it's really in harmony with a theme that we're kind of hearing breaking through, and that is flat out do not pay the ransom, because if we don't pay the ransom, if society didn't pay any ransom, no one would be holding ransom because they would know that's not a way that they can make money, because money's just not paid when it's held. This may be one of the first of many things we see being implemented to kind of curb our enthusiasm for using that as a weak strategy concerning cybersecurity. And I did say strategy because I know I've heard it. I've been in rooms where I've heard it's acceptable business risk. Our insurance will cover it. There's nothing that we really have to worry about. If they gain our data, there's not a lot of risk there because we don't hold precious data. So just to get our systems up and running again, we'll just let the insurance company pay it. And that's kind of wherein lies the rub here, because my question is, as is the question of just about every cybersecurity person out there right now, is insurance companies are pretty risk-adverse individuals, believe it or not. Everything has a kind of risk and cost associated with it. It's the way it works. Are they going to take the risk that they may be paying out funds that can end up coming back to cost them even more money and possible jail time? That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a very onerous job on the part of the Department of Treasury. And I doubt that this is going to be real time in any way, as there's a lot of forensic work that we'll have to go into figuring out that you actually paid some sanctioned entity. But on the flip side, if they have that information, it could end up very badly for you, and it can end up as a disaster for that very company that you decided to make that investment in, to protect, to bring it back, as well as all the people that are reliant upon that company for their livelihoods. You're not just doing that for yourself many times. Many times you're very selfless, and you're doing it for the greater good, as it would be. So if the insurance companies aren't going to cover it, what happens? Well, you're either going to have to take that and pay it out yourself and take a personal risk. Not all companies can do this. Or the lawyers will have to figure out some way of protecting people from this transaction. Or we just have to stop using this as a strategy. And like I said at the very beginning, this was never a good strategy. It was always just the bad guys outsmarted us. We have to pay the piper in this case because everything we did, and hopefully did everything correctly, just wasn't enough, because that's always a possibility. There's no system that's really 100% impenetrable unless that system is completely disconnected from everything, with not even people walking in and out. So just keep that in mind. So really, what are we coming down to here at brass tacks, and how does that affect small business? And that really is just a kind of a restatement of do not rely on the insurance company as a strategy for getting out of ransomed data, because it may not be there much longer. You need to really take a look at all of your other options, the stuff that we've been talking about, tips and tricks. We certainly covered this, especially today in our webinar. We did cover a lot of the aspects of having that business continuity plan, and kind of the whole aspect of punt, having the recovery plan in place that does not include, hopefully, paying out to the bad guys. So, it's really what I want to get down to here. And I didn't mean to sensationalize the heading on this one, but it really is worth talking about, because it really, in my mind, kind of gels up this overall push towards not paying ransom, period, end of story, as and trying to get us to comply with that. And who knows, this may get more strict, this may get more transparent in how it occurs, and it may make it very difficult for US-based companies to pay any ransom. So just want to share that with everyone. That's today's trick, because it's certainly not a tip other than don't rely. The tip is don't rely on ransomware payment as a strategy. The trick is if you get paid, you can go to jail. So yeah, well, it is what it is, right? It's 2020 after all. What else would we expect? All right, so I hope you found this one helpful. Just a quick on our webinar. Had a great webinar today. That was our second one, defining some terms. We have got a bunch of assessments that came through and were accomplished today in our self-assessment kind of litmus test. So that went extraordinarily well. And if you want to see that live hacking demo, make sure, if you're not already signed up for the other webinars, make sure you sign up. The link is below for the third in our series. And hope to see you there. It's going to be a fun time. That's happening next Thursday at 1 p.m. And then we will have a available rebroadcast of that. But you do have to register in order to see that. Obviously, we're kind of showing some methodologies for hacking stuff, so we don't want that sitting out in the general public. All right, so I hope that you're doing well. We're already in the end of November. November, I'm way ahead of myself. We're always at the end of October. 9 more days until Halloween, and we'll have our 31 tips and tricks in, and then we'll continue with our cybersecurity awareness series, but more of a weekly basis than a daily. All right, well, we hope to see you next time. Until then, stay safe, stay online, and have a great day. So long.